Hi, Rocky Mountain students, and I welcome you to our continuation of our change theory and understanding change concepts in leadership for this week. I've since updated the timeline so it reflects a little bit more information, maybe to help and guide your writing for this next assignment that we have this week. We're going to continue our writing journey. I think it's important at the level at which you're functioning, you get really comfortable with writing academically, and writing um, what I believe, writing about real experiences you've had, especially when it comes to leadership. I know some of your other science courses might be a little harder and want to look at things from a clinical side, clinical perspective. But in leadership, we like to draw upon our own personal experiences a lot. And it just helps us learn from the past how we would do things differently. It's really easy to judge a person and when you're not in their shoes and when you're not the one necessarily making the leadership decisions. So we're not always going to come across the most effective or efficient, or what I would do if I was a leader situation. So I'm giving you that opportunity this week to draw upon a past experience that you've encountered personally and asking or answering some of the questions when it comes to just how that change process looked, and offering up some ideas on how maybe you would have done things a little differently if everything in the world was perfect, or even if it wasn't perfect and you were the leader in that situation, what would you have done? Now, I want to let you know that I can read a little better with my glasses on. um, you're going to continue reading about leadership in uh, change, leadership theory, and how those forces kind of fuse well together. There's some really great articles you're going to be diving into, and then a couple different videos, such as individual and organizational barriers to change. And this again reinforces the ideas from last week, and change management, why 70% of change initiatives fail. That's a big number. So I hope that just really drives home the fact that there are many times where, as leaders, we want to see change, or we want to initiate change, or um, be a change agent. That's really important, especially when we talk about leadership, um, healthcare growth. I'm sorry, my dog is sitting in my lap. I'm kind of doing my YouTube video a little late today, so I'm at home. Um, and then there are several questions here. Let me put these back on. A couple questions here that you need to answer, and I've delineated point value for each question. So not to say 3 points is a lot, but that the last one there, when it is talking about content, what would you use? Would you use the same approach again? What held you back from using a different approach if you were the leader in that process, or what might have held the leader back from using a different approach if you were the follower in the situation, and why or why not? Now that last week we went over a couple different change models, such as Lewin, unfreeze, change, refreeze, or Kotter's 8 steps to change, or Kuzin Posner, 5 examples of exemplary leader, even Michael Fullan, change leader. You have some ideas of intentional change theories. There's a really good one by Porras and Silvers too when it comes to changing the entire culture of a place. Those are available to you in your knowledge bank now, and I want you to draw upon those formal frameworks and talk about how you would have done things differently as a follower or a leader, and why that's important. We change evolutionary all the time, little changes here and there. And hopefully some of that stuck out to you, the difference between evolutionary and revolutionary, if you caught on to that. We evolve with time and we change with time. And they're just little perturbations. But when these larger changes come along, when we talk about revolutionary change, we're talking about uprooting our core values and beliefs and almost starting from scratch. And some of the changes you guys are talking about in your briefs are chronic issues, but could be revolutionary if solved. And so, what are your ways? What's in your toolbox now when it comes to knowing formal change models to help people through these harder change processes? So I want you to talk about those in a paper to me. I still need you to be writing an APA and strong scholarly academic writing. Still follow the formatting we've been following all along. Um, If you want to just put the question at the top of the area that you're addressing, that's perfectly fine. Or if you want to write in narrative form and go straight through each question and boom, 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 hit each one, that's fine too. I suppose I'm not going to be very picky because everyone kind of approaches this type of assignment differently. So do whatever makes sense for you, and I will be fine with that. So I'm gonna get going. This week's kind of cut and dry. I'm really looking forward to reading your change healthcare briefs. Chris and I will be reading those this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing the different models you've chosen for your change initiative and why. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.